Okay, guys, so we are live right now. I am excited that I'm starting this conclave with authors where we'll be talking about how we will be making money and authoring ourselves into authority, wealth, and fame. And this evening, I have with me an amazing guy. He's a crazy guy. I don't know what I should call him a madman.
You know,
Yeah.
I'm good. Now, crazy craziness runs in the circle. Yeah.
Okay, so I have with me here Ediale Kingsley. He's
I
an
did
amazing
busy.
guy. I'm
No,
glad that I am starting out with him this evening
no, no, no. I did.
on this session.
First
All
of
right, how we are going to be talking about how to author yourself into authority,
yeah,
wealth.
yes, best of the
Okay, so Ediale, I know we have written about your bio and all, so but maybe there's something you want to share with us about other sides of your life which we don't know yet. So you can go ahead
Yeah.
and tell us.
It's also. I'd like to greet everybody. Good evening, everybody. I appreciate you. I appreciate Warita. Thanks for having me, and it's quite interesting that I'm also being the first to start the long process of conversations with authors. It's a
Yeah.
great one. I'm Ediale Kingsley, like everybody knows, or some people know. I do quite a lot of things. I do PR. I write books, and I do movies as well. Right now, I'm in a friend's movie set, actually in the
Okay.
Nollywood set. Yeah. I'm also his publicist, so once in a while, I also get to visit him in location. That's where I am right now. But at the end of the day, we definitely will get this done. So I do creativity, entertainment, and I think what tops the list is public relations for me.
Fantastic, fantastic. So, all those things. Anyway, I would have, if we said we had a lawyer first or a medical doctor, people would start to think, okay, I think this connects. But you're already a creative guy, so they're expecting that a creative person should be able to author a book. But the thing is, this: you have authored books. I have the first one, the one that I know that you spoke to me about on
Yeah.
sports betting, and the other ones that you've written. The question is, with all the things you're doing, you're right now you're at a film location. I think when I think about it, I don't know how many Nigerian actors and actresses have been thinking about actually authoring a book. I don't know if I've seen anyone by any one of them that is popular, basically. But you're at the film location. You don't act, but you do directing and everything. But why did you decide to author a book? That's a key thing.
Yeah, you just as you said, if it were to be a lawyer or a doctor or someone, it would be that question would be quite different from the fact from someone like me who I think the basis of everything I do is actually writing. I am a journalist, so by being a journalist, it means I do words. Filmmaking, I started writing scripts. It means I deal with words. And one of my favorite subjects back in school was literature in English. But I think for the sake of this conversation, writing is a tool. It's just fortunate that I developed it at an early stage.
Yeah.
But as I grew up, I discovered it's more than what it used to be for me. It used to be me just helping my creativity, as in expressing myself creatively. But at some point, it's more than just that. It's a tool. It's a tool to make yourself an authority in a particular field. It's a tool to sell yourself. So writing has actually done a lot for me. I actually started writing because writing books because I have ideas I feel I can sell, I can make money, and also educate people. For instance, the betting book you talked about, it was I had this knowledge about football. I could predict games. I could win money with sport bets, and there are people who wanted to also share that same experience. Who want to be able to also do sport betting legally. It's a legal thing, so there are people wanting to do it, but how can they do it? So the easiest way to communicate the hows and the whats and the ifs and the whole system was actually to put it in a book. And that is how I wrote the first book and then the second book, two books actually on sports betting. One is um, win your sport bets every day, sporting bets every day, while the other one is better stake. So I write because writing has become a tool and a function. So even if you're a doctor, even if you're not in the creative space, you want to write because writing these days is actually, you want to author a book at least because there's something authoring a book does to your image, even as a publicist, even as a PR person. Once you author a book, for instance, if somebody writes, the fact that I wrote a book about sport betting, it's a lot of betting companies approached me. They started seeing me as an authority in that field. So if you are into real estate and you write a book about real estate, I think you are most likely going to be picked compared to someone who hasn't written a book if somebody wants to do business with you. Because the person understands that you, at least you've done research. Because to write a book, some serious level of academic activities are involved. So the many benefits of writing a book there, Emeka Novice.
Yeah, you have really mentioned something quite very important here about authority, and that's what I wanted. The next question I wanted to ask you. So, does it mean that the moment you just write a book, you are instantly seen as an authority? For you to have talked about betting and betting companies began to approach you, very very powerful, very very instrumental for this conversation. But does it mean that immediately you've authored a book, that means you've become an authority on that subject? Because I know some individuals do copy and paste, some individuals do
Yeah,
research, and then
yeah,
so does that automatically translate into the fact that you've written a book, you become an authority in that
yeah. The
particular
truth.
case?
Okay, yeah. See, the truth is this: immediately you write a book, you become an authority. Now, the difference is how long are you going to leave that authority? How long are you
Mm.
going to waste that image you've built? When people dig deep, when people pick the book and read the book, will they now be disappointed and say, no, this guy did not do his or her research, or this guy just copied? Or after some time, will you be, will people be able to see through and true and discover that, okay, you've actually been fake? Because it's easy to copy and come up with a book. It's easy to um, be an imposter. It's easy to go just change. I'm sure you know these things well. People do that a lot. They go, they just take the book, change the cover, put their name. It will work for you for a while, but if we are talking about destiny moves here, if we are talking about long-term moves here, then you just have to do it the right way. But the truth is this: once you have a book with your name, you people give you some regards, and those regards are well deserved until you are exposed. If you pass through the fire, if people read your book, read your work, if people start engaging with you, they would now they could discover that, oh, it's all lies. It's not what um it seems. But at that initial stage, you had that power, you had the attention, you drag the attention. You have a book, you've written a book. Oh, how to fly in how to fly from Nigeria to space, how to get into space, how to okay, you've gotten the attention. But what happens after you've written that book, the investigation, because people will investigate you. People will read your book. So if you want to be an author, know these things. People will read your book. So is it something? And I think that's just it. People will read your book. People will study you. People will investigate you, and they will be able to form their own perspectives about you afterwards.
Fantastic, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful perspective there. Let's go to the area of fame. Yesterday, I booked an Uber ride, and when the guy came, the next thing he said was, "Are you a mechanobist?" I said, "Yes." "So you are really the mechanobist that I've been hearing about?" I said, "Yes, of course I am." He said he saw it on his ride. He saw a mechanobist on his ride, and was like, "Okay, let me wait and see if it was the guy he get." And then, the guy, I got into the car, and then we began to have conversations. And the man said he loved what I was doing, that that's the kind of thing he wants to do, make himself a person of influence, write books, in his area. He does, he said he's called fuel filtration, that his company filters fuel. Diesel, that was the first time I was actually hearing that they filter fuel and diesel. I mean, they filter petrol and diesel with certain things. It was just technical stuff that he was talking about, and that he wanted to really, why he's still doing the business, because the business gives him money to be able to do other things. And part of what he really wants to start doing is to start writing and making himself a person of influence. And so I gave him some pieces of ideas, where he could start out on social media to start building himself and all that. But it was a very, very beautiful conversation, with the Uber driver up until I got to my house. So with regards to books and fame, is there any correlation between authoring books and becoming famous? Using yourself as a specific example.
Yes, and definitely. Um, Writing a book does a lot of things for you. It's a strategy. Before you start to write a book, you also, just like other forms of expressions, like music album, audio album, like movies, like skits, you need to um, decide, what do you want. If you want to be famous, it's there's a different approach to it, because it's very possible you write a book and you're not famous. It's possible you write a book. There are some books that are not for everyday people. People with people of that level, of a certain level, will discover the book and discover you when they search. If we write, there are so many books that are out there right now that most of us do not know about. And there are many of such authors that are actually representing themselves well without being famous. They are not famous. Some of them, the books are even expensive. The books comes with a lot of other things, but they've written a book. Why others are famous? The truth is, the book can perform these functions. With a book, you can become famous. But the truth is, you also don't just write a book, go to sleep, and want to be famous. If your book, the level of information, the level of the gold in the book, so to say, will make you famous. If you write a book today that cures cancer, you are famous. If you write a book and now people would read the book and actually be delivered of the ailment they have, the cancer, and so it becomes word of mouth. Have you read this book? Have you read this book? Have you read the book? Just like your book, Emeka Nobis, your book will sell. Your book will sell, it solves a basic problem. So because it solves a basic problem, people who want to write books and who know one or two persons who would go and consult or ask questions would likely meet someone who would say, before you start, go and read this, your book will sell. So in a way, you've positioned yourself for that fame and that popularity. So yes, you can be famous depending on your approach. And if you really want to be commercial, if you really want to be a hot sell, you probably want to also toe that lane. You want to be, but I think there are people who write for different reasons. But at the end of the day, though, Emeka, let's not deceive ourselves. Nobody writes and wants to just you want to write and be seeing the book yourself. Whatever thing you've put in between those covers, you want the world to see it. So the more people interact with it, the more you become also famous. That is why books like Poor Dad, Rich Dad, you see those books they're generational books. People read and refer and quote. So if you really want to be famous, do your work well, do your research well, and be sure whatever you've put in the book you've written uh, can defend you and can go all out.
Quite fantastic. Okay, guys. Some people have joined us on this live stream. Please just share. You can also mention your friends who come join us on the live stream. We are talking books, authority, wealth, and fame. Okay, how you can author yourself into authority, wealth, and fame. Okay, so yeah, I want to ask you something. That bothers quite a lot of
Yeah.
people who start out writing books. They keep asking me, "Do Nigerians read? Do Nigerians read? Do Nigerians actually buy books, especially physical books?" And I keep telling them that Nigerians do read. Depends on what you've written, basically. But they still don't think that I'm telling them the truth because they feel I want them to buy my book. What's your take on this regarding people authoring books to become famous and wealthy?
Yeah. I think it's even an old saying. The saying is usually not even about Nigerians. The saying used to be basically about black men. Black men don't read. But those sayings, I think it came from the days of slavery. But as time goes on, I'm sure I think those talks don't really, because we have a lot of professors these days that are blacks. We have a lot of we have a lot of books written by blacks. And the thing is this, Emeka, you and I understand this as a reader, as a writer. That writers are readers. Writers are readers. Most writers are actually readers. You can't start writing if you are not actually reading. And then I think Africans get bored easily. So if you want to write for Africans and you want them to read your book, you want Africans to read your book, then you probably are solving a problem for them, or you've also packaged what you've written to them in the language they will understand. I listened to 50 Cent's book. 50 Cent wrote a book. The title of the book was Hustle Smart, Hustle Harder. I think that book is one of the most interesting book I've read. And he wrote it to Africans, to Black Americans, that most people think don't read. And that book has sold lots and lots and lots of incredible numbers. The language of that book, Emeka Nobis, is something else. There's no way you don't want to stop. You just want to keep reading, because he's actually now those same people reading that book probably won't want to read maybe books by Shakespeare, by William Shakespeare. But right now they are reading this 50 Cent's book. So it's one, Don't say Africans don't read and you go and package. First, have you packaged a well published book for them? Because let's not deceive ourselves, Emeka. We see what Warita does now, and we acknowledge Fola Gbade for what he is doing. In those days, you really can't trust a Nigerian entrepreneur to package your book. It's either the printing is terrible, the packaging is poor, and you've not done well in arranging the book, in ensuring you write well. So I think Africans do read. We read. A lot of books came to this country. In short, even the Bible. The Bible is a book. You know how many, you know the way Nigerians quote Bible. You know, Nigerians consume, they've mastered the Bible even more than the white man that wrote that packaged the Bible. So so I think blacks read, Africans read, Nigerians read. If you write well, if
Great.
you tick the right boxes of marketing and packaging, you get your products out there.
Quite great. So we see that from what you have shared with me. I think I see that in yourself. I remember when you bought my book, your book we sell, and you wanted to send me a review, and the way you folded the book and put it to your cap and sent me the
You
picture,
know,
it was like this guy is crazy. You know what I'm
you
saying?
know,
Then the thing is this, because I loved what you said about Africans or Nigerians loving entertainment, and that's why for me in my marketing I infuse entertainment, humor in the things that I do. Even my content marketing, I infuse all those things, suspense here and there. Sometimes I make people see me from a different light that not seen me before, and then these things get them taking action and wanting to buy and eventually buying. Uh, so, what do you think? Because most times that I go to, yesterday I spoke to authors, aspiring authors, in a session that I had with them yesterday in Port Harcourt. But there's this thing I consistently see. Many of them who have this gift are too rigid. They're not thinking of how they can be, express this socialness that can make individuals want to see them as real social human beings, and full of fun and humor, and just what I mean by socialness, so that people can
yeah.
connect with people. They just want to be that I'm an introvert. This thing is a serious thing. You know that writing is a serious thing. You shouldn't just bring any other thing that is not. Just like the conversation we're having today now online about Apororo being invited to House on the Rock to come share about to do comedy. So a lot of Christians are now saying, why should Apororo be brought? That after singing, the next thing was Apororo started sharing jokes. So the thing was about comedy in worship, comedy in church, and all that kind of stuff. So it's just basically the same thing. So it has to be all serious, serious, and no kind of fun. Even though I fault sometimes kind of jokes that these guys crack, but I still see comedy as something like a good expression, fun and humor. So, but for some authors, some writers that I've met and who are those who are authoring books, they will just want all to be that serious. Where does that thing come in? Trying to find a balance between being that social and be that fun and humorous and using suspense sometimes and shocking people with certain visuals. And where can they find a balance? Does it aid in becoming famous, or does it aid in making money? If not, what?
I think the word here is marketing. The answer here is marketing. Now, marketing um, can be strategic. You need, and in that strategy, I would um, want to break it into different categories. You just need to market. You need to sell. Like your friend, our friend, Inabi Ibe would say, the business is not in writing. The business is in selling the book. Now you want to sell the book. You want to put the book out there. So there are two. If you want to sell, there's no any other way. It's been so from beginning of it. It takes different formats, but selling is selling. Any idea you want to make popular, you just must go through marketing. You cannot. Hello, can you get me? Can you hear me
I
now?
can hear you. The network was, yeah, the
Oh,
network was fluctuating at
yes.
some point. Go ahead.
Yeah. So the like the Bible, like Christianity, God needs evangelism to make sure the word of God goes everywhere. Evangelism evangelism is marketing. Evangelism is sales. So how do you do your evangelism? Some people they do tracts. They share tracts. Some people they go out dancing, singing. Some go on socials. There are different ways to do these things. But I think one key element of it is volumes. What can you do? What is comfortable for you? If you do not have the skill of doing skits, doing cracking jokes, but you have the money, you can give someone else, pay someone else to help you market your book. People like us will gladly do it for you. We've done skits for people who wanted to sell their image. We've done a series of skits for them. And they went on TikTok and they started. So we will execute it for you. So there are people that can do all those things for you. But you just need to actually find a way to tell people about this project. Now, volumes will help you. Now, people, you also need to study the people you are interacting with, people you are selling to. Africans they don't like when you are selling.
On your phone, 4 o'clock.
When you are directly selling. So you want to put phone, you want to be indirect about it. You want to package it in a way that they would get it. So there are different ways. For instance, you have a book that you are going to write about shameless marketing.
Yes.
The book is going to be published when?
2024.
2024. Now, between now and 2024, person. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, your network
Sorry.
is fluctuating at some point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Between now and 2024, there are a lot of things I know you already started doing, a lot of things you can do. So for that person who does not want to, there are many things you can do. You can start writing, you can be posting short clips of videos talking about the book. It can be in audio. There are different, just strategize, but you must do that. You must do that to make your book popular. Unless you want people to find you. Now, it depends on the kind of book you are writing. If you've written about cancer, how to solve cancer, I'm sure people will find you. People don't. At the end of the day, you still need to put it out there so that when people are searching for you, they will see the book and come to you. But if you've written on other stuff, you really want to put it there. You really want to talk about it. You can't shy away from it. You just need to. It's either you are doing it yourself or you outsource it to someone who is a professional who can help you, or you go get strategies, or you watch how people do it. Because at the end of the day, you can just watching people, you will see watching experts, those that have done, those that have books, and if you see how they market their own book, it will give you one or two ideas. Every day, people come on social media, they post. You can talk about it on your Facebook post, talk about it on Instagram, anything you can. I'm sure God gave you something. There must be, even if it's just take the camera, say something to it about it, and it will reach out to somebody. People will somebody out there will listen, would have seen it and try it out. And if the book is good, word of mouth, the person tells the next person. So you must do that. You can't shy away from it.
Fantastic. So the question that people will be asking now is that, based on the conversation, the theme of our conversations, how can I author myself into authority, wealth, and fame? That's the simplest question they were asking now. Okay, now people are talking books, 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 influence, 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 fame, 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 wealth, 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 wealth. How can I simply author myself into authority, wealth, and fame?
Now, it reminds me of a question someone asked me long time ago when I was still a reporter in a newspaper house. The guy asked me, how can I be a celebrity? That he wants to be a celebrity. Then when I was also there, when I just started writing Insta letters on Facebook those days, people would come and tell me, write a letter to me now, write something to me. They want to be in the limelight. Now, if you want to be in the limelight, you need to do the work. You need to read. You need to listen to conversations like this, like most people are exposed to right now.
I'll walk around it.
Then
I think I might just want to do one more this year.
Decide how do you want to.
I might do 20 to 24.
Be famous.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, yeah. What kind of fame? As in, because people at times think they want to be famous, but when the fame comes, they discover that that's not actually what they want. So be rest assured, okay, do you want to be famous? Okay, if you want to be famous, what do you want to be known for? Because there are people on TikTok these days who releases their sex tape and they become famous. They release their sex tape on TikTok and people start to look for that sex tape on Twitter and everywhere. Because they feel that is the best way they can be famous. So discover, what do you want to sell? What do you want to be known for? It's important, Emeka, because there are people who started only for them to be famous for something. And along the line, they now decided that, no, if I can just retrace my step back and rebrand or sort of. So first decide, okay, what do you have? Who are you? By the time you answer those questions, it becomes natural. What is in your hand? It's all about how you implement it. You can be famous in anything. So if you want to author that book, go through the, how will I put it now? Spend the money if you have the money. If you don't have the money, start small. The other day you had a program, you talked about, you thought about ebook. You may not need to publish the book at first if you're starting, but just do whatever you are doing, do it well, so that people see value, people see quality in that particular piece of that you've written. It starts from there, and you may not be famous by the first book. It's possible the second book, the third book. It's I call them digital assets. They are there forever for you. Emeka, you are selling your books you've written 3 years ago, 2 years ago, you are still making money. This December now, December 25th now, you still come up with one,
Yes.
You give us one promo to buy this book, Christmas book. So you are still making money from your books. So it's going to, there are assets for you. So start with a project, depending on your life stories, depending on whatever you want to write about. Maybe if you are, for instance, maybe your career, you have experience as a career person, as a professional. You want to teach people about that particular career, that particular profession. You want to make things. You want to be solutions. You want to provide solutions to people's problems. There are different ways to attack this this writing thing. Well, when you now have, then also have, like I said, quality. Give people quality. That's how to be known. That's how to be really, really famous. You want to be known for that quality. You want to be known for that originality as well. Don't go copy so that people don't call you out, because there's nothing bad as you looking for fame and you not get the fame only for it to be something terrible, because people now discover that you actually copied this book, or you copied this from somewhere. Because I see a lot of people writing these days, and most of the things they are writing, they are just reproducing what these white guys already. They are not even being original. They are not even being natural. They just go and copy and republish, and it doesn't go well. Emeka.
Yeah. Wow. So thank you so much for this conversation that we're having tonight. Guys, this conversation we're having, authoring yourself into authority, wealth, and fame, is on the auspices, under the auspices of the Warito brand. Okay, so I'm a Warito author, and Ediale has also been published by the Warito brand, and that's why we are having conversations with the authors under the Warito brand, how they are building their authority, wealth, and fame. And so that's why we're having this conversation. We are preaching now. This is the end of the year 2022, and we're preaching that by the year 2023, you should start thinking about how to put your thoughts, your experiences, your expertise in the form of written books. For me, I have decided that I'm going to start to write. I've been playing around it for so long, but this, for me, I have written 17 books so far. But from next year, I'm doing 3 books at least. No matter how busy I get, 3 ebooks at least every month. So that by the end of 2023, I've gotten 36 ebooks that I can. I mean, the idea is that when it gets to like something like Valentine, you can do a bundle. So if your books were like if your ebooks were like 2,000 naira each, and you have like 36 ebooks, and when that time comes, instead of you to sell it for 72,000, that if you multiply 36, you can say, okay, for all the books that I have now that are 36 in number, instead of selling it for 72,000, guys, you can get it for 36K. So once you buy it for 36K, I send you all the ebooks that I've ever written. I mean, 36 of them. So that is a way of making money. You know, Valentine will come, you can do it at Valentine. Easter will come, you can do it during Easter. Maybe even the Muslim holidays will come, you do it for Muslim
Yes.
holiday. All right, you can do it even
Black Fridays.
Democracy Day, Black Friday. Sorry, guys, NEPA has done its thing, but we shall. Let me put on
We
my.
shall conquer. We shall continue. Yeah, so no
NEPA.
time, no time.
Yeah. So that's what it is. So that's why I said that this is what I'm going to be doing by next year, making sure that at least every month I am putting out at least 2 or 3 ebooks. And this sometimes find out that these ebooks don't even take time to write. You could do it in a week, you could do it even in some days if you're very serious. You find yourself having something to work with to sell to the public. So thank you, Ediale, for this conversation. Didn't want it to be so lengthy. Within 30 minutes to 45 minutes, we should be done. So thank you to all the people who are tuning into. Please go share this video on your timeline, this live stream, so a lot more individuals can be part of it. So Ediale, tell us, what are your upcoming projects? How can we connect to you as a publicist? Because I know that you're doing something very phenomenal that authors need, and that is there are a lot of authors. The problem is that they have a book, but they don't know how to use content to market or promote the book. And when I was in Lagos with you, you were telling me about what you were working on how you can help them with visuals and content for 365 days. And I told you that that is a very powerful solution that you're bringing into the market, into the space, into the marketplace. So tell us about it and how we can connect to you as we begin to wind down.
Yeah. Content. That's what I do. I do a lot of content, and I think that particular thing had to do with 365 written copies. So sales copies, it's something that can work for anything. We use it to help uh, get sales for either your service or for your product, and it also would work for books. Yeah, just 365 people, as in good hands, writing 365 copies for you to share. So now you don't need to think of, oh, you can't write. Okay, somebody has taken time to write it for you so that you can just post them. You can post them and you can repost. You can use them as your. So it has to be tailored to you. So what we will do is we'll interview you, we'll know, get more information about you and your product, and now write for you. They do it in music. Some of the songs Snoop Dogg sang was written by Jay-Z. Some of the songs Jay-Z, and they did it in their own language. They'll tell you that they wrote the song in Jay-Z will tell you he wrote one particular song in Snoop's language, knowing how Snoop's talk. So we would understand your product and write contents for you. We already do it for people, even in real estate and other products and other profession. So there are a lot of things coming up. I started a project. I call it the PR film. It was built for Netflix, but the project is not complete yet. It's a long-term project, but we've interviewed some professionals. It's a documentary that is designed for Netflix. It's also, most of the things I do, it's PR underneath, aside the sport betting and every other thing. Even the movie, I'm a movie maker, but these days when I make movies, I also do it with publicity and PR in mind. There's always one person I want to sell, I want to push, because at the end of the day, you need to be liked, you need to be known, you need to be trusted for people to give you their money. So there are a lot of programs that will be coming up. Even 365, I'm going to be doing long interviews, face interviews, a lot of ideas already on ground that will come next year, so that we can release videos every day from our stables and all that. For people can reach us at Sabi Station. Sabi Station is the outfit I use for the PRO plans, where we can put you on newspaper, we can put you on any of the TV platforms you want in Nigeria and even in the world. Any newspaper you want in the world, we'll get it for you. We'll put your content there in a way that it will sell your image right and positive. So we've been doing that, and we're going to do more of that the coming year.
So, Ediale, I was thinking this. This was an idea that came into my head when I was shooting my videos for my the product that I'm going to sell on December 25th. So I was thinking of getting my friends, giving them copies of my book, or those who have read copies of my book. So I put them in a house, and then I have them ask me questions. So, like for example, if I have 15 books, I call 15 guys, who will read all the 15 books, and then they just sit down, and one after the other, we're recording, and they are asking me questions, maybe one question or two questions from the book, and then it will be like a 60-minute recording. So I'm
Yeah.
thinking, is it for you, your company? Is it possible to get me on DSTV to showcase that kind of video? That kind of interview.
Yes. Yes. It's very possible. We do it. There are ways to these things, and the people don't even know that DSTV will give you a channel if you have content for it, and you may not even need to pay. If you have content, enough content, DSTV can actually give you a channel, Emeka Nobis TV. If Emeka Nobis has enough content to last them, to survive the channel, a channel can be created. So yes, there are many ways we can approach what you've just said. We can approach it. We can partner with DSTV. We can package the product and sell to DSTV. We can partner with a producer who already has a time running on DSTV, who already has a platform. A lot of things are possible, and it's just by the time we start to discuss, we know your goals, your aim, and we'll now know the best way to achieve it.
Amazing, because a lot of things are in my head regarding pushing my work and pushing my stuff. I don't want to wait for anybody. I want to just create my stuff and then put them out there.
Yeah,
So hiring somebody here in the city of Port Harcourt, who's close to me, or even coming to Lagos and having it directed by you, and then we do the recording, and I'm just to put my stuff out there. Sometimes I'm even thinking of how I can rent my friends' platforms. What I mean is that your timeline, connects your
yeah,
timeline. For example, what we are doing right now is streaming on Warrital's page. So I made sure that I became an admin on the page, and I connected my this platform I'm using, which is StreamYard, to Warrital's page, and it's just showing now, showing on my timeline, showing on YouTube, showing on LinkedIn at the same time that we are doing what we're doing right now. So I'm even thinking of how I can rent people's platforms. People who have huge followership, pay them something and have my video streamed there, for my launches from next year. So a lot of ideas and thoughts. And this is how you author yourself into authority, wealth, and fame. You're not just waiting, but you are doing what it takes to be able to put yourself
yeah.
out there in the faces of people. So part of what the man was asking me yesterday was that he saw my billboard because I did a big billboard in the center of GRA,
Exactly.
where
Yeah,
you have Genesis on one side, you have Market Square on one side, and then you have Jevnik on one side. So he asked me why I did what I did, and I told him I didn't do that billboard just to sell. I did that billboard because I wanted to make a statement, in the city of Port Harcourt, to say to people, the dawn is in Port Harcourt. The Mechanobis is existing here, and you have to pay attention to me. And that thing still got me some form of connections to certain individuals who wouldn't have really had those connections with me. So instead of me going to them, they came to me. And so that's how we are building gradually. So as I'm getting money, but from the things that I'm doing, I'm plowing them back, into, like, for example, when I talk about ebooks, the fact that you could make money from ebooks, when you have them. So imagine that I do that launch, that Christmas offer, and maybe on that very day I could get 2 million or 3 million or 4 million, as the case may be. I can take out 1 million and say, okay, 1 million will be spent on promotions, right? And so imagine if I decide to spend 1 million on Facebook ads, how far my videos will just reach out, not just to convert anybody, but just people to see, what it is that I'm doing. For example, if you look at what DSTV is doing, okay, let me not use DSTV. There are some individuals, okay, Pastor Podio Yemade, so he does a sermon and then he runs ads to it. He's not telling you to come and buy anything, but he just runs ads and people just get to
yeah.
know this man is existing. So that's part of what I want to do, put out videos on my timeline, run ads to it, and let a lot of people get to know and listen and hear. So part of my plans is to I can decide, okay, run this ads to Rwanda. Don't choose any other, just choose only Rwanda, don't choose Nigeria, choose only Malawi, choose only Ghana, choose only, so that thing is spreading here and there. So we are talking about how to build fame authorities, not that you just produce the book and then you go to sleep. There has to be concerted effort on your part to be able to get works out there. Okay, so
And yeah,
I want to ask you a final question. Um, what role, because I think we need to emphasize this a whole lot more. What role does PR, public relations, right, do with authoring books?
Emeka, awesome. You see, the day you made that billboard, that billboard has done a great PR, performed a great PR function for the Emeka Nobis brand. You see, PR is about perception. And whether we like it or not, people have perceptions of you, whether you want or not. Now, it is your duty to make sure that they have the right perception of you. Now, criminals have started using the power of PR for their own good. How much more you that has something of great value? Why aren't you using it for yourself? we all watched the um, Tyndale scandal. That project, that series on that documentary on Netflix.
Okay.
Tinder what? I can't remember.
But the guy that was lying to women, right?
Yes, yeah, that guy used PR, bad PR. He was on. He knew how to use the media. He knew how to sell a fake impression of himself. Now you now have people ashamed of selling that original image of themselves, and it's quite sad. People, you've written a book, and you just think it's enough. No. You don't think it's a national thing? It's actually a national thing. You should go, you should approach a national daily, a national newspaper, a national radio, a national television station to interview you. Already, it shows you have enough belief even in your own project. So if you do not have that belief in your own project, why should somebody else believe in that project? So it means you've positioned yourself enough for it to be carried on the dailies. That is where PR comes. When people see you or every Warita authors on TVC, it does a lot of things for Warita. It does a lot of things. It shows that these people, they are creating an industry. And you see what we are all doing? We are happy. We are doing more than just for ourselves. We are helping to build even the Naira. We are helping to build even the economy of the country. Because at the end of the day, you are creating an industry and people begin to believe in that industry. Now, the fact that Emeka Nobis, who is a writer, has his billboard in the center of a city, it means, okay, if I become a writer, I can also get to this level, because some people don't even think some people don't even think it's achievable. They don't even think it's worthy of a writer. Why will a writer go and put himself? He's not a politician. He's not acting. He's not a musician. He's not a celebrity. So these are the things. But now, that is the same way they prize you. That is the same way they treat your work. But when they want to pay for those other guys, they want to treat you. See, skit makers now are buying houses in Lagos. Where I came to work with my friend that's actually making a movie, because I'm not actually making anything here. My friend is shooting a movie here. They just point to me the house of one big skit maker that is in Port Harcourt. I don't want to mention his name, but his house is I've seen his house. He just bought in this very juicy area of Lekki. He just bought that apartment. So these guys are out there. People have that perception of them. So you need to have an interview. People need to hear your voice. You need to go to TV stations. You need to go to radio stations. You need to talk. Don't just say, oh no, talk. Go out and talk about the project. If you talk about the project, others will hear and know. There are a lot of stories behind just writing a book. And when you write a book, people not judge the book by the cover, which is people judge books by cover. And thank God we have people like Fola, who can design great books for us to put out there. Now, it doesn't say a lot. There are a lot of things inside that book until somebody buys that book and opens it before they start to. But when you are exposed to some interview sessions, either on newspaper, because there are people who like to read on newspaper, there are people who like to see TV, there are people who like to hear on radio. Position yourself for these things, and that's where PR comes. It does a whole lot. It makes you more of an people place their voice, their picture, the story to the book. And that perception is, I call it assets. They are digital assets. And let's not even forget that these contents are all connected on the internet. When people go on the internet to even search you, because now you are talking about your book, these days, the first thing people do when they hear about things is go to Google and search it out. So now what I do for any client, the first thing I do, I go and search Google. If I don't see if what Google brings out about you is not impressing me, Then we start from there. First of all, I make sure you are interviewed on 10 newspapers, top 10 newspapers, Vanguard, Punch, This Day, Guardian, those top newspapers, Business Day. Your stories are there. And the truth is that those guys, Punch, all those guys, they have their online standings are strong. So when people Google you, you come out on those platforms. That third party authorization, that third party stamp is already there. Endorsement. It looks as if, oh, if this day interview this guy must be genuine. Let me actually buy this book. Oh, this guy appeared on Sun newspaper. Ah, if this guy appeared on Sun newspaper, then he must really be out of the. This guy is going to TVC News. Oh, we do those things. We put you on those TV stations. We put you on the programs. We put you there because you actually deserve to be there. You are doing something that worth it. But you are just hiding. It's like you hiding your lamp or your candle under the deck. Nobody's going to see the brightness. It's not going to work for you. It's not going to work for anybody. So PR does quite a lot for authors, even for anyone with a business.
Fantastic. Ideally, before we call it a quit, draw the curtains to a close tonight. I want you to do two things for me. Actually, I need to be interviewed. I need to have an interview or a piece on those radio stations. I mean, not radio. Sorry, the newspapers, right? Like the Guardians and the Vanguard and all that. Because I want to be able to get the blue tick on Facebook, basically. So I think I need those interviews to be able to submit and to get a blue tick. Secondly, I want to know what it takes. Just tell me what it takes after this. Send me what it takes. And secondly, as soon as possible, as soon as we enter into 2023, if it's the second week or the third week, I want to be in Lagos. So I want to be on TVC. I don't want that. I don't want that. How many minutes I even spent that day? Was it 15 minutes? I think it was 15 minutes. I think I don't want 15 minutes. I want 30 minutes to 1 hour, to have someone to stay with me, to have a good conversation that will span 30 minutes to 1 hour. So, channels TV and TVC, and any other channel that that will be of great, that has great viewership. I don't
Yeah.
know about Arise. I don't know what about Arise. I don't know. People know Arise for politics and all that, basically. But let me know what it's going to take, because when I get the video recording, because what I'm keenly interested in is the video recording. So in addition to
Yeah.
me being in the station, but I need the video recording
Yeah.
because I need to use it to run ads. I want to run ads. So when I get the one I did for TVC, I loved it because I remember the girl. I can even speak to her again and let her know what my intention is, and perhaps have her on the show. So her name is Winfrey Abwelese. That's Angela, can you hear me?
I can, even though you were fluctuating a bit, but your network
Oh,
was actually fluctuating a bit, but I can hear you now. I think you're having network issues.
oh yes. So I said her name is
Yeah.
Winfrey. Yeah,
Yeah.
her name is Winfrey. Winfrey Abwelese. That's what she gave me her name. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think I love the way she engaged with me. She was friendly
On TVC.
and all that. So let me know what it takes. And then I will. So let me know what it takes because I'm going on holiday with my family as from the 22nd. So when I get back on the 3rd, so I plan to be in Lagos. Okay.
Definitely, we will. Yeah, I'll send you. I'll send you a quotation, even though we have our price menu, but um, PR is personal, PR is strategic. The places you want to appear, the media spaces you want to appear are usually
Angela, can you hear me now?
dependent. Can you hear me? Make a noise. I don't know if you can hear me. But the platforms you want to appear are usually dependent on your strategy and your products. Like you said, if someone that wants to somehow everybody likes to be on channels. Uh, but we all know if you are a politician, you want to be on channels, you want to be on AIT, you want to be on some stations. If you are offering music, there are also some platforms you want to be. You want to be on MTV, you want to be on Trace, you want to be on. So, yes, we'll talk with you, Emeka. We'll send you quotation, then we'll do the needful.
Okay. Thank you for this. I'm very, very grateful.
Thank you for having me. Thank you, Warita.
Oh, thank you, Warren. This conversation holds every day on this at 6 p.m. between now and the 28th of December, 6 p.m.
Amazing.
every day. All right, from now till the 28th of December, excepting Christmas Day. So I'll be here to interview as many as 22 or 21 authors of Warrital, published under the Warrital
Awesome.
brand. So guys, please go ahead and check out the Warrital brand, warrital.com. All right, if you want to have your book published, all right, this is warrital.com. As you can see, Warrital. So go to warrital.com and check out what we are offering on that in the company regarding publishing books in Nigeria, in Africa, and in the world. Okay, so because we want you to really put your thoughts and your experiences in form of printed books and become popular, become famous, and become very, very, become an authority that people can defer to, and also grow wealth. Okay, so see you again tomorrow at 6 p.m. right here on my
Thank
channel,
you very much.
on my YouTube channel, and we look forward to having someone else come here to share his or her perspective based on this particular conversation and theme. Thank you, Ediale. Thank you for
Thank you
taking
very
out
much, Emeka.
your,
Thank you
your
very
very
much. Thank you very, very much. Awesome.
on this conversation. Okay, thank you very much to everyone who tuned in. God bless you. See you again tomorrow night.